Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Now, who would have known our boy Juicy Smollet would be such a trailblazer? The dude has gotten professional victims all riled up in ways none of us could have foreseen. I mean, Juicy is in no way the first person to have engaged in a hate crime hoax, but some floodgates have been opened since Juicy scammed the media into believing his ridiculous story. Regular viewers of this channel, apart from enjoying a great deal of success and prosperity in their personal lives, will also remember, just recently, the dude Edon Hoffman, the football player who got caught trying to pull off perhaps the most ill-thought-of hate crime hoax in this current year. But we still have a few months to go, maybe he would be undone. This time we're looking into the minor leagues, the children's division, and this time the claim is not as much political as the other ones. We got this child who said 3 white kids pinned her down and cut off her dreadlocks. Now, this kind of thing happening in the frequency that it keeps happening in may make the media a little more skeptical about these claims. Might make the media have a little more restraint with their narratives, one may think.
A disturbing story tonight involving a school outside Washington, D.C.
Police in Northern Virginia are investigating after a 12-year-old African-American girl said 3 white classmates pinned her down and cut her dreadlocks.
A black 6th grader says that she was pinned down by white classmates who mocked her and cut her hair.
A 12-year-old Virginia girl says she is traumatized.
She was pinned down by white classmates who cut her hair.
Her white classmates pinned her down and cut her dreadlocks.
Her classmates called her hair ugly and nappy as they pinned her down and cut several of her dreadlocks.
Today, the girl and her family told us about what they're calling a racist attack.
The girl says she's been bullied by the same boys before.
It's very disturbing about these boys because it's heartbreaking and traumatizing for that little girl.
The wife.
Yeah, exactly. Now, after this girl got the undeserved attention from the media and capitalized on a sympathetic but rather lucrative GoFundMe, it fell apart quite easily. The child and her parent eventually came clean. I'm guessing it was the parents who thought they could get a quick payday using their child. Now, nobody reported on that. That has not been mentioned anywhere. That's just me speculating. Now, Karen Pence, Mike Pence's wife, also teaches at that school. And this detail has absolutely nothing to do with anything in the story. It's not even clear if Karen Pence was in the school facility when this made-up incident happened. There's not even any obvious connection between Karen Pence and the fictional aggressors in the story. The only reason Karen Pence is even mentioned in the story is because Karen Pence is married to Mike Pence. And while Mike Pence also had nothing to do with the story, when you're an unproductive, lazy journalist fishing for something, this is the route you take.
Of the vice president, Mike Pence, she teaches there.
Karen Pence teaches art part-time at Emmanuel.
Second Lady Karen Pence teaches art part-time there.
And what's really sad is that she didn't tell her family for a couple of days.
She didn't?
She didn't. They just noticed that her hair was shorter, and they asked her about it, and she broke down.
Because it was too upsetting.
It was too upsetting, I totally understand that.
The school told CNN those involved in the incident will be out of school while police continue.
Now, it seems our society has come to an odd situation. The media has carved out a niche audience for themselves, an audience that does not look at anything outside of the approved authoritative sources of left-wing propaganda, which implies that once they get a story wrong, issue a retraction, and other people shred them for it, the core audience of these news outlets do not get the retraction and keep believing the original lie. This means these news outlets are incentivized to make up headlines as long as they get clicks. The penalty for getting a news wrong is virtually non-existent. This is a bad situation, and honestly, I do not see any self-corrective mechanism in place here. As far as journalistic integrity is concerned, I'm not even sure if that's a thing anymore. Also, if people can make up stuff, get public attention, and monetize it without any consequence, this can only get worse with time. Hate to be a buzzkill about it, but I'm guessing we have a cottage industry of bullshit that's developing in the United States, with journalists, con artists, and gullible consumers of mainstream news being the principal agents at play here. Now, some of us that like to hold on to some level of skepticism about mainstream news outlets, I think we're going to be fine. Although if one of us get involved in these stories, It might not end well for us, but for the most part, I think we'll be fine. But this industry would be interesting to observe from a distance. Well, I'll keep you guys updated on the future fairy tales drummed up by the media. Y'all like and subscribe to stay in the loop. We'll talk to you later.
Incidents like this, they're not isolated. They're happening way too often.